Hi, welcome to our C Talk. Today, we are very glad to have Dr. Thomas Yerwan, President and Chairman of ETAS Board of Management, as our guest again. Founded in 1994, ETAS is a wholly owned subsidiary of Bosch Group, with 42 branches in 13 countries around the world, and has been in the Chinese market for 20 years. ETAS covers 3 business segments, including development tools, in-vehicle software, and off-board software and services. Its product portfolio covers data acquisition and processing tools, software development tools and testing solutions, middleware solutions, diagnostic and information solutions, cybersecurity products and services for software-defined vehicles, empowering the future of automotive software. Hi, Thomas. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, Tina. Third time, right?
Yeah. How about this trip?
Very good as always. I like to come to China, back to China. Great always.
Yeah. In the last year, are there any emerging trends in the automotive industry you think worth noting?
Yeah, sure. There were a lot of trends, I would say, in the last year since we met last time.
Yeah.
One trend is obvious. The transition towards a software-defined vehicle, of course. Even though I would say worldwide, the progress is pretty much varying. China is pretty much ahead, I think, in the SDV technology. Quite ahead still. I think we need to see how it will be on the long run, but pretty much ahead. And in the rest of the world, a little bit slower. Then the second trend, I would say, there is still electrification. So the trend towards EV is there, also here in China. In the rest of the world, there's a lot of investment. Unfortunately, the acceptance by customers still a little bit lower.
Okay.
That's an interesting one. And the third one, of course, everyone is talking those days about tariffs. This is just maybe not a trend, but this is causing a lot of, I would say, pressure, additional pressure and financial pressure on the entire automotive industry.
Yeah.
What is important for ETAS, from ETAS standpoint of view, is the trend for new EE architectures. And the question for us is just, will there be now widely adopted by 28 or will there be further shifts in the new EE architectures? And and we were last year, by the way, quite successful. So we achieved quite a lot. We grew despite the market was pretty flat and also market headwinds. We grew faster than the market, which is quite an achievement.
Yeah. Just as you said, software-defined vehicle now is becoming a common sense in the industry. Since this year, especially with the DeepSeek, the AI component, I think they get a lot of attention because AI is booming right now. It's shaping the industry.
Yes.
So from your perspective, what kind of profound changes will happen brought by the AI to our industry?
Yeah. So I think, first of all, the shift is very visible from software-defined vehicles to more AI-defined vehicles.
Yeah.
And for us, I think it's a challenge and an opportunity, both. But one key challenge from my point of view is that the underlying software architecture still needs to serve all the rising complexity and the additional demand for AI-driven functionalities. And here I think the middleware plays a crucial role. And as you know, ETAS is a specialist for middleware.
Yeah.
So we see the middleware is crucial here for supporting that, because the middleware at the end is the very trusted foundation.
Yeah.
Make it safe and secure as a foundation for all the applications on top of it. Yeah? And middleware abstracts hardware and software, which is an important factor. So you can transfer then cheaper from one silicon to another. Also, the middleware provides basic functionalities, which you don't, as a customer, don't need to develop over and over again, like basic functions like communication, diagnostics, data management, and so on. And you get by our middleware also very efficient APIs, which is important to get a faster and more efficient development, but also validation of your application software.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think with our middleware, we are pretty well positioned to support all the evolving AI demands with our very robust but also adaptable middleware.
How about the process of production? I mean, AI actually has a lot of things they're capable to do. For example, coding thing, right? And ETAS is a software company.
Yes.
So how can you embrace the AI?
So we use that already. We use that in the daily work, I would say. Maybe not 80%, but more than 50% of all our developers use daily coding tools which are AI enhanced or AI supported. And we also brought developed tools as a product using AI. For example, we showcased here on the Auto Shanghai what we call the Embedded AI Coder. This is a software tool where you can take a pre-trained neural network, basically make it small, but still automotive safe and secure, and you deploy directly automotive C code to a very small microcontroller.
Okay.
Because AI in embedded systems, I think, is an increasing trend.
Yeah.
And typically, embedded systems have resource limitations, so it's difficult to bring big neural networks into embedded systems. But with our Embedded AI Coder, you have a tool which you can just subscribe, you upload your pre-trained network for whatever use case, and we take care that safe C code is generated by this tool, and you can directly deploy it to a very small and very cheap microcontroller chip.
So it will enhance the efficiency and the productivity.
Definitely,
of
definitely,
company.
yes. And it's hardware aware. That means you can use any hardware which you would like to use.
Okay. Any changes happened in ETAS? I heard that you do some restructure of the organization.
So as always, so we are constantly also working on our own efficiency, I would say. So we not only develop software to make software development of our customers more efficient, we also work therefore internally on our own organizational efficiency. And all these kind of transformation is always driven by our North Star, empowering tomorrow's automotive software. And as the software market is changing quite a lot, we also need to adapt to the market. So what we did last year is we derived from the market the most important areas for innovation. We combined that basically with our experience, our technological strengths, and streamlined our business to exactly 3 business lines, which is software development tools, onboard software, and offboard software and services. So now a very clear and streamlined portfolio as well, and also business lines to serve our customers.
That will be more clear.
More clear and also more focused, I would say, on the emerging needs of the automotive industry regarding software-defined vehicle.
When we talk about the software development, actually there's 2 major approaches. One is the in-house, full stack in-house. Another is that open source allocation. Which one is better?
So you cannot say the one is better than the other.
Okay.
Because first of all, yes, we saw that a lot of OEMs developed full stack in-house or took parts from different suppliers, combined them and developed the full stack in-house. We saw also many of them, let's say, struggling with complexity and at the end resulting in solutions which were maybe okay for the one generation or the one vehicle platform, but maybe not suitable on the long run for all future vehicle platforms. And therefore we think open source is first of all an opportunity, because with open source you can define a standard by code, not by specification. And in the past, I think there was with open source always the problem, and therefore maybe some people say either or, the problem that it was difficult to use in safety critical systems. That one, I would say we address meanwhile. For example, we are not only having our own in-house middleware, but we are also the key drivers in the open source community. And in this open source community, we're working currently on something we call S-Core, the S-Core project or stack, which is a safe and open vehicle core. And with this, we address also the safety topic. In the past, as I said, open source, not so much usable for safety critical systems. With this project, we focus not only on software development, but also on documentation processes to have a safety certifiable stack at the end, which then someone can distribute to a customer. And here, because we as ETAS, we position ourselves as doing both, like closed software with our normal offerings and open source stack. And if we combine that, we can be a distributor for customer. With this stack, safety certified, automotive grade, we can do the maintenance. So the customer don't need to take care of this non-differentiating software parts. We take care of the non-differentiating software parts. The customer can take care of the nice features, applications, which are differentiating at the end for their end customers.
But you are the foundation, right?
And we are the foundation, and we believe that we can do this also on open source. Maybe not purely on open source, there will be always add-ons, and as I said, you need always someone to certify to be liable to bring it to the street. But this someone like ETAS or other distributors can do, but based on open source, and therefore we believe in basically both approaches, and I think we are pretty much well positioned also to serve our customers with that approach.
I'm really curious about the diversity of different software demands, in Europe, in the United States, in China. Actually, the vehicles are not the same. It's quite I shouldn't say go different direction, but there is a gap. How about software?
I think, so first of all, I share that observation, but if you look to the technology, from my point of view, the technology, let's say, China and the Western world in the cars, it's not fundamentally different. But the difference is the speed to market, the time to market. So we see that China has a much faster acceptance of new technology, also much faster development pace, therefore, and also end customers, end users accept, I would say, new technology here faster. While I would say in the Western world, pretty much people focus on safety, maturity, so only mature software stacks come into the field, which takes longer. But fundamentally different, they are not. So technically, I think they are similar, just different speed. And therefore, I believe there is a strong competition ongoing to do both. Get it faster to the market, at the same time safe, secure, and mature.
Will you leverage the local resources to global?
Definitely, definitely. So we did that always, by the way, already. And we have different approaches, how we use, let's say, local for local and local for global. So on the one hand side, we use already local development for local Chinese OEMs, of course, and support them if local Chinese OEMs go now global. So they take our solutions, which we develop maybe locally, and we support them if they go, for example, to the European market, where you have very stringent safety and security requirements. Good example, also last year with a Chinese OEM startup, they bought our base software, our security stacks, and developed locally, but then we helped them to bring that also globally in the EU market, for example, and adhere to the regulations there. Second example is sometimes we develop a feature locally because, as I said, Chinese acceptance, often faster development speed for new technology. And then we take this feature and bring it back to the global platform so that it's then globally used also for other customers on the global scale. So basically two approaches, always also local for local, but also local for global development.
When the Chinese OEM, they go outside of China, in which aspects ETAS can enable them? Yeah. As I said, for example, specifically safety, security is one topic where we are pretty strong, market leader in security, 3 decades of experience in embedded systems, safety up to ASIL-D. And as we have very stringent requirements for safety and security, especially in the Western world, I think we can leverage that and can support also our local Chinese customers when they go abroad and on their journey, so to say, to the global markets. If they want to be successful outside of China, what will be the priority they should focus on from your perspective? This is a good question, difficult to say. I believe still that in the Western world there's a lot of, let's say, focus on safety. So of course it's a must to have a safe car, adhering to all the regulations, of course. Security, I think, is still an underestimated threat. You know, the car gets more and more connected. That means the attack vectors are more and more, bigger attack surface, so more security incidents possible. And the problem is that customers typically don't pay
before so much for security, but if an incident happens, everyone would like to pay a lot to get things sorted out. So we believe that we can also consult them. We have also security consultancy to help them to do the things right at the beginning to not get later security incidents, for example.
Yeah, that's very important actually.
Yes.
And here in China, we see it's a not easy thing to make money by software products.
Oh yeah.
Customer usually pay by labor hours.
Yeah.
So do you have the similar challenge here?
So yes, we share that observation. And I think it's also clear where it's coming from, because what is happening currently in the Chinese market, we have this super competition, right? Like 50 OEMs competing basically for survival. That puts pressure on development speed, or let's say that puts sometimes the second priority on efficiency. And therefore there are a lot of engineering companies, they do engineering services by paid hours.
Yes.
To be just fast, just get things done fast.
Yes.
And that is okay, I think, for the moment to be fast. If you look on the long run, and we have some examples from the past, this might not be the most viable economical business model, because think about different car lines, a lot of generations of cars. If you would have to do the engineering over and over again, you just multiply the effort and pay the number of hours, then it would be maybe the better approach to have a scalable platform once you buy as a product, and then you use that over many vehicle lines, which could be for the entire industry, not speaking now only about one OEM, but for the entire industry, we know that such a platform and product approach might be the commercially more viable solution. And therefore we are also believing that once the market is consolidating again, that then efficiency comes more into focus. Platform and product approaches might be then also more requested, and then we of course are there and happy to supply and provide a very cost-efficient platform approach.
When we talk about the competition, actually the software industry here is also extremely competitive, right?
Yes.
You have a lot of local competitors. Sometimes you compete, sometimes you cooperate.
Yeah, exactly. So we see that also very positive, because for us, so first of all, we are not scared about the competition. So we see all our competitors also in the software industry, also new players, as an important piece or part of the software ecosystem. And also today we just met several of our partners. Also sometimes we are competing, sometimes we are partnering with them, because at the end we always try to bring value to the automotive industry, to our end customers, to our customers and end customers. And there are a lot of opportunities by partnering. Therefore we don't see it so much as a competition. It's more a frenemy landscape where we're living in, where everyone tries to search what is complementing, where are we competing, where can we have complementing offers to have 1 + 1 is more than 2, right? Best case, more than 2. And therefore, with our competitive advantages we have, I think we can still be here a significant player. So we have not only the 30 years experience in deeply embedded systems, safety, security know-how, we also can combine our local experience with our global knowledge. And I think our track record in the last years here, with a double-digit growth, also in China, by the way, growing faster than the market, shows that our customers also trust us in this ecosystem, and that is a good sign for us.
That's part of your core competitiveness, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I think ETAS entered China 20 years ago.
Exactly 20 years ago, yes.
20 years old in China.
Now, exactly, 20 years anniversary this year.
How about the journey here?
Yeah, interesting journey, of course. Interesting journey, because we were part of this last 20 years journey here in China, like the others. And what we see now, especially in the Chinese automotive industry, China is leading in many fields meanwhile, from my point of view, be it in UX, in AIDAS, in EVs, electrification. And we were part of that journey, and therefore also proud to contribute to that. And we see one trend that more and more, as I said, new innovations starting first in China and being then exported also to the global markets. And we did that as well already. So we have some examples, as I said, where we do this, develop locally and bring it to the global markets. And how can we do that? Because in this 20 years, I think we pretty much established a truly local team. So that means we're not only having a truly local team without any foreigners leading that, that's a pure Chinese organization, up to the leadership level, where they understand the Chinese requirements, the Chinese customers, with a Chinese mindset and way of working. And we can combine that with our global knowledge, because we also know how the Western OEMs think and act. We know all their specifically safety requirements in the Western world, and we combine this to also help our local Chinese OEMs to get the best products at the end out of the street.
How will you see the potential of the China market in the future?
Yeah, I think there's a huge potential, and therefore it's a very, very important market, maybe one of the most important markets for us at all. As I said, because we as a software company, as a technology company, also new technologies which we bring on the markets, we see that it gets faster traction in China. So we need to do that here, maybe also pivot it here and then later export it back to the global markets. This is important for us. We see also that the talents here in China, the talent pool, the way of working, the speed is key currently. This you can only find in China. Therefore, the China team here, the China competence is very important for us, and we still would like to invest in this competence. So we also would like to expand further in China. As I said, we grew already double-digit in the last years, and we will continue that. We will also put more resources, local competence here in China. That is at the core, I would say, of ETAS strategy in the next years. And we will participate in this development on the Chinese market.
When you continuous investment here, you must have a very big expectation, right?
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, we expect a strong growth, and not only the market will grow, but we expect also from our teams to gain market share from our competition. So to grow even faster than the markets. This is what we expect here. And as I said, we expect that we will also try out new technologies here, introduce new technologies, and hopefully can also use them worldwide.
You come to China many times.
Already, yeah, many times.
What impressed you most?
So first of all, what me impressed most is every year you come, and now I think I come to China in my professional life already 20 years now, almost this year. Yeah. So since I started, and the progress you see not only from year to year, but from decade to decade, I would say, is impressive, right? We were just talking on the way here to the first day of the auto show with my colleagues, looking outside also how the picture of China changed also in the last 20 years is really impressive. If I'm walking here around, looking to the technology, which is fascinating for me, is the, let's say, obsession of user experience.
Yeah.
You see here really solutions which are so catchy for end users. And if I'm myself an end user playing around with some nice features I just tried out at the one or the other booth, in the car, at the screens, this is still amazing how also the mindset is of being obsessed by user experience and develop products which really impresses and fascinates the end user.
Yeah, and most of the Chinese local OEMs, actually they will think about the scenario which the end users will meet. Then they will add functions to solve the problem. I guess that's one of the reasons why they can get more and more market share here.
Yeah, I think so. And also like solving real customer problems. This is something what we learn here as well, because it's just about there is a problem and then what is the solution, and then make it quick, fast, and solve it, right? So this kind of attitude also we really like, and this is also really impressive from my point of view.
Yeah. How about the customer structure here?
Customer structure, yeah, as I said, I think we are currently in a hyper competition mode, with more than 50 OEMs. I believe in the next few years that will not survive forever like with 50 OEMs, so there must be a market consolidation in a couple of years. So therefore I think currently fight for survival, which is good for technology push, but on the long run, most likely in a couple of years there will be a consolidation. And as we can serve both currently, so we support all current Chinese OEMs currently, and we also think a little bit ahead in terms of efficiency, so what they would need in 5 years, 10 years for their future platforms. As I said, more scalable platform products to be also then in the future, because then again, after this hyper competition mode, most likely efficiency and cost reduction, etc., comes also more into the focus. Then also someone, or we as a supplier, need to be prepared to serve also in that time.
Say something to your Chinese customer.
So, to our Chinese customers, we are very happy to work with you, because that is maybe one more impressive thing I can add. Working with Chinese customers is also different in a positive sense, because it's more on eye level, I would say. It's more agile. It's more iterative. Not like throwing specification over the fence and then you work for half a year as a supplier and then you deliver a product. So this is really what we like, this deep engagement with Chinese customers. And whatever problem you have, be it in the software tools area, be it in the middleware-based software area, or in the diagnostics area, where we have quite some interesting products also to sell, please come to ETAS. We will do our very best to make you successful.
Wow, wonderful. And you are going to have a big event.
Yes. We have in Germany, we call it the ETAS Connection, which is a kind of industry event with almost 1,000 people in a nice setup where we invite also international guests, customers, partners, tiers. Also competitors are there sometimes, no problem at all. And it's all about software, it's all about automotive software. It's also about open source, and it's about all the solutions you need to develop the software-defined vehicle.
Yeah, wish that a big success.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Always nice to talk to you.
And see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.